Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In today's lecture, we will be able to learn the jet propulsion cycle and try to understand this cycle with a numerical problem. So let's start our lecture. Ideal jet propulsion cycle can be explained with an example 9.9 of the Cengel book. A turbojet aircraft flies with a velocity of 850 feet per second at an altitude where the air is at 500 psia and minus 40 degree Fahrenheit. The compressor has a pressure ratio of 10 and the temperature of the gases at the turbine inlet is 2000 Fahrenheit. Air enters the compressor at a rate of 100 lbm per second. Utilizing the cold air standard assumption, determine number A, the temperature and pressure of the gases at the turbine exit. Number B, the velocity of the gases at the nozzle exit. Number C, the propulsive efficiency of the cycle. In this example, we have to find out the temperature and pressure of the gases at the turbine exit and the velocity of the gases at the nozzle exit. Similarly, we have to find out the propulsive efficiency of this cycle. From TS diagram, it is clear that an ideal jet propulsion cycle consists of 6 parts. 1 to 2 is diffusion process, 2 diffuser process, 2 to 3 is compression, 3 to 4 is constant pressure heat addition, 4 to 5 is isentropic expansion, and 5 to 6 is nozzle process. So we will explain step by step. At point number 1, we have to find out temperature, which is known as T1. At point number 2, we have to find out temperature T2. So certain values, so some values are known, and from these known values we have to find out the unknown values. First of all, the given temperature is in Fahrenheit scale. We have to convert this Fahrenheit scale into Rankine. Rankine is also a unit of temperature specifically used in these types of cycles. So we have given minus 40 Fahrenheit. We have to convert this Fahrenheit into Rankine. We have also given the temperature at the turbine inlet, which is 2000 Fahrenheit. We have to convert this 2000 Fahrenheit into Rankine. So how we can convert Fahrenheit into Rankine? For this, we have a relation Ra in a Rankine is equal to Fahrenheit plus 460. Suppose we have 50 Fahrenheit, and how to convert this 50 Fahrenheit into Rankine? So we will write Rankine Ra is equal to F plus 460. Suppose F is 50 plus 460, so 510 will be the Ra value. Similarly, if we want to convert minus 40 degree Fahrenheit into Rankine, so we can write that Ra is equal to minus 40 plus 460, which will be equal to 420 Rankine. Now come to our numerical problem to solve it. Process 1 to 2, this process is called diffusion process, and this is isentropic compression of an ideal gas in a diffuser. For convenience, we can say that, or we can assume that the aircraft is stationary and the air is moving toward the aircraft at a velocity of v1 is equal to 850 per second. This velocity is known. Similarly, ideally the air exit at the diffuser at point number 2. Here the velocity will be negligible, which is equal to v2 is equal to 0. So using energy balance equation between point 1 and 2, H2 plus V2 square by 2, these are the condition at point 2 for energy balance equation, and H1 plus V1 square by 2, these are the conditions of point number 1 for energy balance equation. Since we have ideally considered that at air exit at the diffuser with a negligible velocity becomes so slow because this is a deaccelerated process. So V2 will nearly equal to 0. Negligible V2 will give us H2 minus H1 is equal to V1 square by 2. We can write that we have to find out T2 because T1 is known, which is minus 40 degree Fahrenheit. We have to find out temperature T2. So for find out temperature T2, we have to convert enthalpy into Cp value, Cp del T. From this relation, we have to find out T2 is equal to 480 Rankine. 480 R value. Now we have to find out pressure at point 2. From temperature T2, we have to find out pressure at this point. So using relation P2 by P1 is equal to T2 by T1 into K divided by K minus 1, or this relation in general form can be written as P1 by P2 is equal to T2 by T1 into K divided by into T1 minus T1 divided by T2 K minus 1 divided by K. So rearranging this relation, P2 comes out to be 8 psia. Now come to the next process, which is 2 to 3 isentropic compression process of an ideal gas. At point 2 we have already pressure P2 8 psia. At point number 3 we have to find out pressure at point number 3 and temperature at point number 3. To find out the pressure at point number 3, we have a very simple relation of pressure ratio. P3 by P2 is equal to Rp, which is pressure ratio. As pressure ratio is given, the compressor pressure ratio is 10. So put the value of 10 and P2 value 8. We have to find out P3 80 psi. Now one thing should be remembered, that process 3 to 4 occur at constant pressure heat addition. So heat addition process is occur at constant pressure. So pressure at point number 3 will be equal to pressure at point number 4, which is 80 psi. So point number 4 pressure is also calculated. Now we have to find out temperature at point number 3. We can use the relation of pressure and temperature. T3 by T2 is equal to P3 by P2 into K minus 1 divided by K. Putting all the known values in this relation, we have to find out temperature 3927 R. Now in case of ideal jet propulsion cycle, one thing should be remembered, that we have considered the work of the compressor will be equal to the work of the turbine, and the net work of the network will be equal to 0. Network is equal to work of the turbine minus work of the compressor. So both compressor work and turbine work will be approximately equal. So work of the compressor can be calculated from H3 minus H2, and work of the turbine can be calculated from H4 minus H5. One process is isentropic compression and the other process is isentropic expansion. So in order to compare work of the compressor with work of the turbine, we have to find out temperature at point number 5, which come out to be 2013 R. From this temperature we have to find out pressure. Using temperature and pressure relation, P5 will be equal to P4 into T5 divided by T4K divided by K minus 1, which comes out to be 39.7 psia. So we have to find out temperature at point number 5 and pressure at point number 5. So our first part is completed, because we have to find out the temperature and pressure of the gases at the turbine exit, and point number 5 is the turbine exit. So at point number 5 we have calculated temperature T5 2013 R, which was our requirement, and pressure P5 39.7 psia, which we have to find out for this problem part in part A. Now our next part is to find out the velocity of the gases at the nozzle exit, which is point number 6. So we have to find out V6. In order to find out V6, we need temperature T6 also. So process 5 to 6 is an isentropic expansion of an ideal gas in a nozzle. So using the temperature and pressure relation T6, come out from the relation T5 into P6 divided by P5 K minus 1 divided by K. Putting all the known values, we can calculate it easily. T6 is equal to 1114 R. Now using energy balance equation, steady flow energy equation, we can say steady flow energy equation at point number 5 and point number 6. Point number 5 is the nozzle inlet and point number 6 is the nozzle exit. So H6 plus V6 square divided by 2 is equal to H5 plus V5 square by 2. Here one thing should be remember that velocity at point number 5, which is the inlet of the nozzle, will be considered almost equal to 0. This is the case similarly we describe at the exit of the diffuser. Remember, at the exit of the diffuser, in case of ideal jet propulsion cycle, the velocity will always be 0. Similarly, the velocity at the nozzle inlet in case of ideal jet propulsion cycle will almost be equal to 0. So putting all the values and converting enthalpy into Cp values, we have to find out velocity at point 6, which is the velocity of the air at the nozzle exit, which comes out to be 3288 feet per second. So this was our secondary secondary value we have to find out in this problem. Now we have to find out number 10, propulsive efficiency of the cycle. So in order to calculate the propulsive efficiency of the cycle, we have a known relation, propulsive power divided by heat transfer rate, or we can say that the total heat transfer rate to the working fluid. In order to find out the propulsive power, we can use the relation M del V into V, or we can say WP is equal to F V into V of the aircraft. Velocity at exit and velocity at inlet. Velocity at inlet is known, is known in the problem, and velocity of the exit we have calculated. So putting all the values and velocity of the aircraft, we can calculate W dot P, which comes out to be 8276 BTU per second. 25,037 feet square per second is a conversion factor. We can also convert this British thermal unit into horsepower as well. Similarly, the total heat transfer rate can be calculated from Qn m dot H4 minus H3 is equal to m dot Cp T4 minus T3, because the heat transfer occur between point 3 and point number 4, which comes out to be 36,794 BTU per second. So putting the values in the propulsive efficiency equation, we can find the propulsive efficiency 22.5%, which is very less for an ideal jet propulsion cycle. Remember, this is an ideal jet propulsive cycle, and we have ignored irreversibility factor as well. So where does the rest of energy goes? The question arises. So remember, in case of aircraft, the heat input occur between 3 to 4, and the work propulsive power we have calculated the Qin we have calculated. From these two values we find out the efficiency, which was 22.5%. but remember that kinetic energy which is available in excess amount, and this kinetic energy is not uses is its value is 32.2%. if we calculated kinetic energy m dot v square divided by 2, we find out 11,867 BTU per second, which is 32.2%. and we can also find excess thermal energy Q out m dot h6 minus h1, which comes out to be 16,651, and its value is almost 55.3%. so adding 55.3% plus 32.2% plus 22.5%, total is 100%, and ideal jet propulsive efficiency comes out 22.5%. the rest of the energy is converted into kinetic energy and heat output, which is known as excess thermal energy. So energy supplied to an aircraft from the burning of a fuel manifests itself in various forms, like in kinetic energy and excess thermal energy as well. So that was the whole numerical problem related to the ideal jet propulsion cycle. I hope that you will get all the important points related to this problem. In case you face any difficulties in understanding this numerical problem, you can contact me on my Facebook, on my WhatsApp, or you can email me anytime. I will be available for your help. Thank you very much for your time.